pit blade works.
Hey, what is up, you guys? It's Fang, and today I'm back with another video. So before I get started with today's topic though, or today's servant, which by the way is Jeanne of Arc, the ruler class Jeanne of Arc. But before I get started with her, let me tell you guys something interesting about the channel that I found recently, and I've been saying it in almost every video. So I had this feeling before that my channel was growing like a little slow, basically on the views that I was getting. Like I was getting a decent enough amount of views, but like the subscribers just weren't coming. And I found this statistic where it says that 89.2% of the people who watch my videos don't subscribe to the channel. And guys, that is a horrible number. That is horrible. Like I honestly would love to change that number, but I can't do that without your help. And I don't think the reason why people aren't subscribing is because they don't like the content. By all means, if you don't like the content, don't subscribe. But for those of you who do like the content, please help me out. Please subscribe to the channel. If you like my stuff, if you like Fate, please subscribe. I will really appreciate it. It will help me out immensely. And yeah, like that's a horrible number. I would love to bring that down to like at least something like at least by half, at least like to 40 something, at least to 50%, to be honest. I would love to bring that number down. So please help me out. Please subscribe, hit that like button, and comment. I love your guys' comments, so please keep commenting and please hit that subscribe button. Next thing is, like, if you guys want to see how I'm doing in the Fate Grand Order mobile game, please follow me on Instagram. I've been uploading a whole bunch of stuff about the game, like ascensions, missions, summons, upgrades, all of that. So please go ahead, follow me on my Instagram, and yeah, and feel free to message me if you do. Like if you want to talk about the game or my videos, or just say hey, let me know who you are if you watch my stuff. So please go ahead, follow me on Instagram. I'll be sure to reply to you guys. So that's pretty much it about that. So let's go with today's video. Jeanne of Arc, the ruler class Jeanne of Arc, and this is the first ruler that I've covered in this like servant lore series or whatever. So like this is the first ruler that I cover. So I'm very interested to see like what the ruler class is all about. I kind of do know a little bit from watching Apocrypha. She has like command seals on her back that she can give to servants, etc. And she's supposed to be like how could you call this, like an impartial party, right? But she kind of doesn't take that route at the end, because she pretty much, like, the truth of the matter is that she falls in love with Sig, and then she joins pretty much, or helps Sig's side. So not too impartial there, but yeah, like they're supposed to be like an impartial party to, like, I don't know if you could say referee the Great War or something along the lines of that. But I'm pretty interested to see what Ani News has to say. So without further ado, let's just jump into the video and see what's up.
14 servants, 14 masters, a ruler, a homunculus, and whatever other side characters they feel like throwing in there as well. That's Fate Apocrypha's cast. Yep. You can obviously tell that that's a lot of people, even for a 25 episode series. Exactly. So keeping track of all of them, like who's that servant class, who's that master, what's their noble phantasm, and all that other junk can get a little bit difficult. Especially considering that in the span of 4 episodes, they've already introduced all the servants and most of the masters.
Not only that, but they added a brand new class.
So you obviously don't have enough time to go to the wiki to read this massive wall of text just so you can understand a character better. That's why I'm here. I've decided to start a mini-series where I go through each of the servant classes and explain the hero chosen for that class, along with their past, their noble phantasm, as well as any other abilities that they might have, and then I'll theorize a bit on what their purpose is in the Holy Grail War, or who they may fight against in the future. You don't have to worry about any spoilers though. In terms of plot, I won't reveal anything that hasn't already been revealed in the latest episode of the anime. Also, if you're on board with a mini-series like this, then let me know in the comments below. Now let's get started. Alright, so obviously from the title of the video, the character that I chose to start the series with was Ruler. But before we get into who Fate Apocrypha's specific ruler is, let's first talk about the ruler class in general.
Yes,
It's
please.
a specialized servant class that is only summoned when the Holy Grail War requires moderation. And what I mean by that is that when the Holy Grail itself determines that someone is not following the rules of the typical Holy Grail War, because you know, it's an omnipotent cup with the ability to grant wishes, of course it knows everything. But yeah, and also the church isn't doing its correct job as mediator. The Grail summons its own to ensure that the Holy Grail War proceeds in the right direction. Ruler also can't be biased towards any single person or faction and is supposed to act solely to fulfill the will of the Grail. And the will of the Grail is a proper completion of the Holy Grail War. Now, in order to be summoned as a ruler, there are some conditions that have to be met. You literally have to be Jesus Christ or the next closest thing. You basically have to have no desire to win the Grail, which means no desire to have a wish fulfilled. Which is why the people that are most often rulers are saints, since they are the people that have lived the most fulfilling lives without regrets. That brings us to Joan of Arc, the ruler in Fate Apocrypha. If you watched Fate Zero, you'd remember when she was referenced in a flashback by Castor. Anyway, Joan of Arc is obviously referring to Jeanne from the 100-Year War in the early 15th century France.
Wow, that's crazy.
Joan's character is completely based off of the historical figure who actually played a huge role in leading the French army to a victory over the English. However, as we see in the show, Jeanne died by being burned at the stake. But how did someone who was granted the title of a national hero by King Charles himself meet such a fate? Well, while defending a French city under siege, she was captured by the English and held prisoner until put on trial for heresy. Claiming to hear voices of angels, speaking out as a woman of the church, and then only obeying God rather than the church militant, resulted in the sentence of being burned alive at the age of 19.
Gotcha.
At the beginning of episode 2, they actually showed her death scene, which was pretty interesting because they were accurate with a couple of small details. It was reported that during her death she was holding a small wooden cross while continuously praying, which as we can see are the two notable actions taken by Jeanne during this scene. So that's who she was during her past life, but what about now? We saw at the end of episode 1 that Jeanne manifested her spirit inside the body of a French girl. Her name is Laetitia. This is a unique case of a ruler being summoned into a human body rather than as a spiritual form. The exact reason for this is unknown, but it is possible when a person's body, spiritual prowess, personality, and magical potential are compatible with the person being summoned. In this case, Laetitia was a prime candidate. Also, because of Laetitia's strong faith, there were no conflicting personalities either. Ruler has complete control over Laetitia's body and mind, although some deeply rooted traits occasionally affect Ruler's actions. Now there's a few other things from the anime that need explaining before getting into Ruler's abilities and whatnot. Let me put this as easy to understand as possible. Ruler spawned in France. The Great Holy War is in Trifis. That's a fictional city in Transylvania, Romania. A simple Google Maps search shows that's about 2,500 kilometers away. All servant spirits have the ability to teleport, but since she's in a human body, she has to travel by other means, which is why we see her on the bus. This explains a bit of Jeanne's confusion while on the bus. She suspects that something is wrong with the war because under normal circumstances, she would have been spawned in Trifis in her spiritual form. Let's move on to her weapon now. It may have been hard to tell considering during her fight with Karna, she didn't really use it. But that's actually a flagpole. It can be easily mistaken for a lance if you look at it at first glance. But you can tell that it's clearly a fabric wrapped around the pole. And if you look closely enough, you can see the edge of the fleur-de-lis printed on it, which in case you didn't know was used as the symbol in the French coat of arms. I tried to find the exact flag, but the closest thing that I could find to it was this picture here. But yeah, I just find it pretty funny that I recently talked about a main character that used an umbrella to fight, and now we have one that uses a flagpole.
Really?
And if we do ever get to see Ruler fight for real, I'm really hoping it looks something like this. Anyway, let's move on to her abilities. I'll start with the ones that we've seen so far. While hitchhiking on the back of the truck, we see her use one of her natural abilities to command others. It's referred to as charisma, and it makes people believe the words that she says without basis, and this comes from her past experience commanding armies. Next up, we saw the command sails on her back.
Control people?
Obviously, as the ruler class and moderator of the Holy Grail War, being able to command the other servants would prove to be a little more difficult than other people. So she has what's called God's Resolution, and this allows her to use command spells on the servants. Rulers usually get 2 command spells per servant, so if you can point out all 28 tattoos on her back, then by all means go ahead. The next skill she has is called True Name Discernment. This was fairly obvious during her fight with Karna because she was able to identify his true name and class without any information. Information on servants such as identities, skills, and noble phantasm are automatically revealed when confronting another servant. So basically she gets a cheat sheet on her opponent, only if she makes visual contact with them. Any opponent that's in hiding will have their information remain hidden until they are found. Then this final skill hasn't really been revealed yet, but it's nothing monumental like a noble phantasm. It's just increased resistance to magic-based attacks. For example, say one of the sabers tried to use Excalibur on Ruler. The damage would be done to everything except her. She does not negate the attack, but instead just remains undamaged by them. And when I say that one of the sabers is trying to use Excalibur, you know I mean their noble phantasm. Anyway, I'm sure there's more abilities that I'm missing, and she probably has godlike combat skills, but those are pretty much the main ones. As for my theories on Ruler's future in the show, well, I haven't read the novel, so I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but if I had to guess, I'd say that since the red faction wants her dead, and the black faction wants the homunculus, she's going to have to fight Karna again, as well as another servant of black. Other than that, there's not much else I can say, but there's definitely more to this show than what's being led on. It's more than just a battle royale, which I'm totally okay with, by the way. But anyway, that's all I've got for you guys on Ruler today. I hope that clears some stuff up for you. For my next episode, I'm thinking of doing the Saber class, but if you have something else in mind, then let me know in the comments below. As always, thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this type of anime content, then you already know what to do. So until next time, ciao.
Alright, so that was Ruler. And this is a tough one to dissect, just because, like, she is not your typical class, right? She's like a completely different servant. It's like she's not even supposed to fight if she doesn't deem it completely necessary, and that's why she gets all those command seals. That, like, she should just be able to order all the servants to do whatever they want. But it is hard to gauge and analyze how she will act in a Grail War if she were to be summoned as another class that is not a ruler. But as a ruler, she's pretty damn powerful. Like, she can negate noble phantasms and, like, negate damage. Like, it's crazy. Like, she's pretty much summoned to be undefeated by anything. Like, she can go toe to toe with Karna and, like, all the servants. To be honest, their information is instantly revealed along the lines of, like, some Gilgamesh type of, like, intuition. It's crazy. It's insane. And it's hard because she is definitely kinda top tier, just because she can resist magic. She can negate, like, all the attacks, all noble phantasms, or negate all damage. But, like, yes, she can do that, but that's just because she's the ruler class. Meaning, if she were to be summoned as a regular servant, I don't even know what kind of other class she could be summoned as, but I'm assuming something along the lines of, like, I don't know, maybe like a lancer, maybe, just because of her flag or something. I don't know, but she wouldn't have command seals. I don't know if that ability of, like, finding out who everybody is, just would she still have that? I don't think so. Like, there's a lot of abilities that come just for her class alone, and I don't know how she would be without those abilities, you know. But he did mention in her story that she was a pretty decent warrior, and I think I might be wrong when I say this, but I don't think there were a lot of females leading armies back in the day. So that's a pretty great accomplishment, to be honest. Like, that's a crazy accomplishment. So she's a decent warrior, but I just would love to know, like, how powerful would she be as something else, like as another class. I think I seen in the game she has, like, an alter version, so like, it would be fun to find out about that. And I think that's pretty much it. Oh, yes, before I forget, like, she was the one that caster from Zero was obsessed about when he met Altaria. Like, that's who he was. Oh, that's crazy. Oh my god, wow. That's a throwback, because as you guys know, Zero was the first series that I've watched. And by the way, I think when I'm done with Apocrypha, I might do Zero, or I might cover the Servants in Babylonia. It's like, it's one of those. But yeah, like, I really want to know, like, I really would like to cover like Ishkandar, or there's a lot. I mean, I pretty much know a lot about Arthur, but I've never done a video on her. And then Gilgamesh was there. I mean, I guess I could cover like Castor, but the one that I really want to know more about is Ishkandar. So that'll be fun to make. But then again, and then also the Lancer from that, just before I forgot his name, but he's also another one that I would love to cover. So yeah, like, I think after I'm done with Apocrypha, I might do the Fate Zero Servants. But yeah, that was crazy. That was her. That was the one that he was crazy about, and he thought that was Arthur. That was insane. That was funny, and it was hell of a throwback. But yeah, guys, if you have any more information on like how she is as a different class, I know there's an older version of her out there, so if you guys could please let me know how she is in another class, what her abilities are and whatnot, please let me know in the comment section below. I would really appreciate it. As I said at the beginning, please subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate that as well. Help me lower that number of like 89.2%. That's horrible. So please help me out with that. And that's pretty much it, guys. As I always say, have a nice day, and catch you guys in the next one.